a lot of people living in diaspora, I don't even know what the heck they think or who the heck they think they are. A lot of them are so proud. Many of them are so snobbish. Many of them are so full of themselves. Do they think they are the only ones that will make it, or they are more successful than other people? They look down on people. They don't pick your calls. They don't respond to your phone calls. They don't respond to your chats. If you video call them, they will block it. They will decline the call. They will not respond to your chats if you inbox them in social media. Who do they think they are? They are too full of themselves. They are too pompous. They are just so snobbish. And I don't know why. Hello. Welcome to this edition of If You Ask Jimmy. Pose this question to you, my viewers, today. These our JAPA Diasporans. Why are they so snobbish? Are they really snobbish? Why is it that most Diasporans don't respond to their phone calls and chats from their home country? Sometimes they pretend they are busy with work, and sometimes they just don't care. I'm going to try to answer this question to the best of my ability today, because perception is reality in a lot of cases. You that is calling people in diaspora or trying to reach them, if you are from Africa, where I'm from Nigeria, you are probably, in fact, it's not probably, you are clearly in a different time zone from where the people that you are trying to call are. It's even okay with Europe. Western Europe is closer to, in time zone to Africa. When you look at it very closely, you will realize that people in places like Nigeria, they can easily communicate with people in the UK and most part of Europe, because the time zone is just an hour or two different. But when you look at people that are living in America, for example, currently my location to Nigeria is 7 hours. 7 hours differential in our time zone. And that means that a lot of times, except we plan around it, it will be very difficult for someone here in America to communicate with someone that is in Nigeria without a plan. Because while we are sleeping, they are awake, and during our awake times, it is usually work hours in America, and by the time you get off work in America, let's say around 5 p.m., it's already going to be 12 midnight in Nigeria. That is, if it is 5 p.m. in America with the time zone currently, it will be 12 in Nigeria. When there's daylight savings and the time zone change, the time differential changes, it's going to be like 6 hours apart. If you say you get off work and you get home before you respond to your calls or respond to your chats, if you are trying to do that at 7-8 p.m., it's already past midnight, maybe 1 or 2 or 3 a.m. in the African time. But the perception of people in Africa is that people in diaspora don't want to relate with them. They are trying to avoid them. They don't want to help. They don't want to, communicate. Why is it that some diasporans don't respond to phone calls and chats from their home country? These are people that are working around the clock. A lot of diasporans are busy with the work they do back to back. There are people that work multiple shifts. There are people that work at different locations. There are people that work and they need to travel between one job to the next one. There are people that are even having the kind of work that is they don't have their hours in one place. And by the time these people they are done with their day, they are tired and they are out, and it's very, very difficult for them to even get on the phone. Even to make local calls can be a real big problem for someone in America, for example. I can speak of America because America is a very fast-moving place. Sometimes people in Nigeria want to talk to someone between the hours of 9 or 8 in the morning and 4 p.m. Someone that is doing a knowledge job, for example, we need focus, and you are not even able to get to your phone. If you are not careful, you might not even be able to keep up with family, not to talk of outsiders. People that you are living together in America, it's very difficult to keep up with them on communication level, not to talk of people that are in diaspora, people that are located in other parts of the world. People need time to focus on the job. There are a lot of jobs that Even the work environment will not even permit you to make phone calls. I will take them one after the other. For example, if someone is doing like an IT professional, like beyond IT, not a lot of people are in IT, but someone that needs work that requires focus in the office space, let us even say a white collar job, it's not going to be easy for you to be talking at work. And usually when we talk, when we communicate, we are communicating in our mother tongue, we are communicating in our native language. The office is not, no matter how quiet you try to pick the phone, the way the offices are done here, a lot of offices are cubicles. So you are not even going to be able to make a call, and you can't be running from your seat to be making calls. And when we people, Nigerians, they want to talk to you, they want to talk to you. It's not 30 seconds, it's not 1 minute. That is not, it's not likely to be easy for somebody who has serious work to do. And people who work factory jobs, people who work, in hospitals, it's not going to be possible. Let's say factory, for example. In a lot of factories, as you are entering the factory, there are lockers that are assigned to the staff. You will have to put your cell phone inside the locker before you can even go in. So let me get back to the people in corporations, the white collar jobs. You hardly can make a call at work, except maybe during your lunch when you are out of the office space. Because in big corporations, like I said, people work in cubicles. For you to even have an office to yourself, you can have your own minor office space, which is a cubicle. Everything is there. But for you to have a separate office to yourself, you must be very, very high in hierarchy. Very high. And those cubicles, they are not so private. You don't pick your call and start speaking. Like I said, you can't start breaking into vernacular. And you can't leave your seat for so long because you have work to do. You don't want to be having conversations that are not work related in the office space. In the office, someone wants to talk to you. Even in the office, you have work applications like Teams, like Confluence, and other apps like that, Slack. There are different tools that people use in the workplace. It depends on application that is adopted by your company. And those conversations will be work related. You probably will be wearing a headset and be talking in low tones, not to talk of you picking your phones. And at most times you are picking your call from the laptop with your headset. And sometimes some of these work related calls, they are video calls. Some of them can be video calls. It depends on the meetings that you are on at work. I'm still talking about the white collar jobs right now, because the people at home just think that you are just aloof, you are just trying to estrange them, you don't care about them, you don't want to talk to them. The workplace is a structured place. You don't go about the floor speaking around and making prolonged calls, even if you leave your seat. If it is not such an emergency, even an emergency, God help you if you are not the one facilitating the meeting. You have to wait to finish what you are doing before you can get to the phone. Phone is not someone's priority at work. No matter the work they are doing in America, I'm still going to break it down to other layers of job. I've talked a little about factory. I'm still going to go back there. I want to take it one after the other. In fact, for white collar jobs, that's even if you have your phone with you. For you to be able to focus at work, part of your discipline as a white collar job worker or office worker, let's put it that way, is that you know that you keep your phone away at work. You keep it in a place that it won't distract you. It might be around you, maybe on the table. Many people, if they have to make calls at work in office jobs, they usually leverage their break times. And those break times are short intervals. It can be 15 minutes. Some breaks are broken down. Some people have 1 hour break at work that is broken down to 2 15 minutes break and 1 30 minutes break. Some people, all they have in a day is 30 minutes break, which they have to take together. And for most of them, that time is not even enough for them to eat their lunch. It's not the time they can be talking and be eating. Sometimes people get busy. They don't even have time for the lunch, not to have time to make phone calls or respond to people from home. And sometimes there are people who have coffee breaks on office jobs. Maybe if it is so important, they can leverage those breaks to make those calls. The time is not enough to be calling or receiving calls. Don't forget that in a lot of workplaces, there are cameras everywhere. And there are jobs where people are micromanaged. It's only senior level professionals, management level people who may have the liberty to make calls while they are in the office, even though that office might be a cubicle or a separate private office. It's not Nigeria where even a low level, small, just every officer has an office. There's a way they build, they maximize their real estate here. And any senior professional or management level person that is able to make a call at work is because they are not micromanaged. They are trusted to manage their time well. They are not expected to be riding on the employer's time, to be making social calls. And to whom privilege is granted, responsibility is expected. Those people are expected by the code of ethics of their work to use their time responsibly. Even the work will suffer if they do not do that, and they don't want to be found lacking at work. It's something people at home need to understand. Such professionals or such white-collar job people, they need to get into their car to drive home. And, some people talk while they drive. A lot of people do that. But some of these people are only able to return the calls maybe when they are driving home. And that is not even safe, because when you're driving, you are not expected to be talking. Safety first. I know a lot of people who make calls and receive calls while they drive. But, of course, everyone that has a driver's license knows that safety first. You don't want to talk while you are driving. You don't even know the kind of conversation for which people are calling you from home, or you are responding to their messages. So you want to keep focused while you drive. But some people far away from home to work. And one of the things that helps them to keep awake, one of the strategies they use to stay awake when they are tired from work or they are driving long distance, is to be on a call, to make phone calls or return phone calls. I fully understand that, because when people are having conversation, they are active, they are agile, and they drive and they are still able to talk at the same time. A lot of people do that. In fact, some people need to talk so that they don't fall asleep on the steering, depending on the distance to work. And if they are returning calls to Nigeria by then, it would even be late in the day. And I want to say that it's because it's either the time zone permits them, or the people they want to talk to are ready to stay up and work with the time here. There are a lot of people in Nigeria or other parts of Africa that have to stay up late in Nigeria so that they can talk to their family here in America or other parts of the world that have a different time zone than them. And sometimes it's the people here that have to wake up early in order to be able to catch up with the calls that they need to make to their home countries. So it is vice versa. It is complicated. The time zone is a big deal. Beyond the time zone, the fact is that everybody has 24 hours in a day. And here, work is work. You are not paid that dollar, that American dollar, that Canadian dollar, that euro, that lira, or pound. You are not paid that money for nothing. So by the time it is evening in America here, after work, when people are driving home, if it is office job 9 to 5, it's already midnight in places like Nigeria, Cameroon, Ghana, and some African countries. So people at home should not feel at all times that people here don't want to engage, they don't want to relate. There are people who have their personal hustles. They are independent contractors. There are people who do delivery. There are people who drive Uber. There are people who drive is it rideshare or share right now? Okay. There are people who do that. And even those people, they don't want to be talking. Those people that do deliveries, okay, maybe like Amazon and some other deliveries, it's okay for them to talk if they are by themselves while they are driving to deliver. But if you are a gig driver who is driving Uber or Lyft or those kind of levels, you don't have all that freedom. You can only be engaged in conversation when there is no rider in the car, where you don't have a client sitting in the car with you, because it is not polite, it is rude for you to be talking while you have a rider with you. So when are they going to make those calls? Although they have more liberty, like I said, those people have, more liberty because they can at least manage it. Sometimes they have waiting period where they park and they wait for, an order. They wait for alert for them to pick the next passenger. So that is manageable for them. They might even, they will fare better than people working in factory in responding to their messages and in answering their calls. Now let me go to the cocos, factory workers. In most factories, people are micromanaged. And because of the fact that in factory places, just like when people are driving on the road, it's safety first. There are a lot of plans, there are a lot of equipments. They don't want people to get injured at work or be distracted and have low productivity. In fact, sometimes on some factory lines, they give people targets. In most production and manufacturing facilities, assembly plants, all those kind of places, warehouses, you can't take your phone inside. You can't. As you resume to work, you have a locker, like I said earlier. You will first need to put your phone away safely in the locker before you can even proceed to the work area. It's even interesting that in some workplaces, they have cameras right from the moment you step in at the gate. There are some places, some factories that you can work with your dress, and there are some places where you have changing rooms. Before you get beyond the changing rooms, you will drop your phone somewhere, you lock it away. It's only your break time, you come and quickly see which message do you have, or if you have call, even local calls, maybe, within America here or wherever you are located in the world. Some places even have scanners, like the one they use at the entrance of most banks, or the TSA when you are traveling, the Travel Security Administration, or the airport, those immigration areas. Those scanners they use to scan people. Some places have scanners that you need to pass through the scanner before you can go in. So you cannot sneak your phone in, because there's a buzzer in the scanner that will sound if you have anything metallic in your pocket. You know how interesting it is? That even includes your key. Anything metallic in your pocket, on you. Yes, your car key, your house key, anything that has metal in your wallet, including your wallet. If that wallet has metal in it, it won't pass through. You have to go lock it up in your locker with your phone. In some places where they have such machines, such scanners, even your shoes, there are some shoes that have metals in the sole. Those shoes won't let you go through. You can't go beyond the security point. Even in the factory, there's something that is called steel toe shoes, which is allowed as part of your PPE, your personal protective equipment. And those shoes, you wear them so that you don't get injured in case of heavy impact, or something falls on your leg or your toes, or you hit your leg against the machine. That way, you need to carry those shoes, maybe pass them separately, you show the security before you go in. We have people that drive forklift, we have machine operators, we have manufacturing attendants, we have packers, different factories, different warehouses, different assembly plants, different kind of jobs they do there. So there's a way you will put off those shoes, then pass through the scanner and then grab the shoes. And there are cameras everywhere. You can't go beyond. So is this someone that cannot even go in with his wallet, with his shoes, with his car keys? Is it that person that will go in with handsets? Like I said, people in gig culture, like Amazon and food delivery, I'm laughing now because the mentality of people is that you don't want to talk to them. You are just too proud. You have traveled now. You don't know your friends again. You don't want to talk to family. Amazon delivery, pickup and drop-offs, they may have a little time more than other people within the distance that they are doing their deliveries. Some people may have the opportunity to return the calls more than others if they are independent, they are not working in that office or factory environment. Like taxi drivers and Uber drivers, like I said earlier. When they are alone in their cars, between trips, when they don't have a rider or a client in the car. Okay, what about those people that work in healthcare? Before I go to healthcare, let me explain what may happen if someone who is having a rider, a client in their car, a passenger, let's put it that way, who has paid for the ride, if they make calls while the rider is sitting with them. they may get dissatisfied. The rider may get pissed off and report you to the app, to the company, whether to Uber, it's an app. They will report you because there is, all this rating. They'll give you stars, and they also have comments. They can mess up your review, and the review is everything to you, because if you get 5 stars, 5 stars, 4.5, and riders will have confidence to choose you. So you don't want to do that. You don't want to be talking while you are driving so that they do not give you a bad review. Now let me go to the care workers. It depends on the nature of care. There are some care workers that when they get to work, they take care of their patients or their clients, and they go sit down, and then they have intervals which they attend to the clients. In between those rounds, they can make calls if it is permitted in the workplace, because even in places where you have to give care, like homes, and whether you go into the private homes of the individuals or their old people's homes or some other places like that, when you are with your clients, it's a no, you can't bring out your phone. You can't be having conversation while you are caring for a patient or you are caring for someone that needs care. And when you go to people's homes too, if it is just like one-on-one something, you cannot be making calls if it is not safe for you to do so. You have to study the environment. Maybe when you are by yourself, or if the person you are with, if there's the place you sit, if you have that privacy that you can make some calls, because some people can actually make calls. It depends on the environment. It depends on the setting. What about nurses? Same. You can't have a nurse have their phone in their pocket and the phone is ringing while they're attending to a patient. It's going to be very distracting, and it's going to make the patient feel uncomfortable. It can even trigger the patient. So they don't even want to put their phone on ringing mode, even if they have the phone on them, because that will be distracting while they are working with the clients, either by the bedside or in the facility. What about people who work in oil rigs? Those people, some of them are tanker drivers, some are frac technicians, some are, one kind of form of assistant or the other. You don't expect those people who are working around places where things are inflammable to start bringing out their phones, because everybody knows that phones can be very inflammable. They don't interact well with gas. That's why they say when you are at the gas station, you should not bring out your phone to make calls. It's not safe. People do it, but at least it's not the safest thing to do. What about physician assistants? What about diagnostic technicians? You don't expect those people, while they are doing their work, they need focus, they need their report that need to give, whatever they are doing requires accuracy. It's not a time for them to make calls. So I'm trying to establish that at work, a lot of people will not be able to make calls, except they have break, or when they are at the end of the day, when they are going home. But let's talk about other people who are running their own gigs, like tailors, like fashion designers, like tailor and fashion designers tautology, or hairdressers. Let me also include people like sit-at-home moms. Okay, before I get to other those set of people, let's talk about tailors, hairdressers, and all those things. Yeah, even a hairdresser, people do gist while they make hairs. It depends on the kind of client you have. There's a limit to much. Like now, if I go to the salon to have a haircut, I will not feel comfortable if my barber is talking. Of course, they will not hold the phones. They will put on their Bluetooth. But, there's a limit to how much people you can be talking when you are doing people's hair. I know that culturally, when our people make their hairs, they can be gisting with the client. Some people have opportunity to make calls. So such people might have the chance to make more calls than people who are working in the office or in the factory or in care jobs. Now, what about people who are like fashion designers? Yeah, they are dealing with their machines, they are dealing with their equipment, they are dealing with their environment. They might be able to talk endlessly. They might be able to have more times. They might be able to get on their communication as long as they have the Bluetooth in their ear. In fact, for some people, talking is like a stimulant to them because it helps them to keep agile. Those people can gist endlessly. They can gist from here to heaven. Yeah, those kind of people, I mean, if they are into fashion designing or cooking. If someone is cooking, as long as they keep it safe, I mean, They can have a long talk time, and they can even be looking for someone to gist with. So it might be easier for those people. But not a lot of our people are self-employed like that in America and in some parts of the world. They are working for employers who have rules and regulations, and if they are independent contractors like Uber drivers and Lyft drivers, people who do gig economy, they have terms and conditions. T&C applies to those jobs. Let me say the last category that comes to my mind, like sit-at-home dads and sit-at-home moms. I'm sure some people are surprised to hear sit-at-home dads. Do dads sit at home? Is it not women that stay at home with the children? It's not always the case. In some instances, although more women have sit-at-home moms than we have dads sit at home, it depends on the financial calibration of that family, because there are some families that the women have very, very good jobs. In fact, it's not just like, let's look at it this way. When the husband and wife compares their job and their earnings, and they have children to cater for, sometimes when they look at what they need to pay to drop those children off at the crèche or the daycare centers, it might make sense for the couple to agree for one of them to stay at home. And usually they will try to maximize the income by making sure that it is the partner with the highest opportunity to earn the higher income that will go to work, and the other parent can stay at home. Because what is the point of two parents living home? For example, if a man earns, just hypothetically, let's say he earns like $100 a day and he has to go to work. Not a lot of people earn $100 in the first place a day after tax. Not a lot of people earn it. So I'm just using hypothetically. And they have, let's say, 3 or 4 children. Let me even say 3 to be more realistic. Now, and they have to put those children at daycare, and they are spending maybe like $30 per head per child. And at the end of the day, what they are going to be spending on that child is even almost equivalent to what the man would have gone to earn or the woman would have gone to earn at work. So they have to put their heads together and make a decision. I've seen it happen that dads do stay at home. It doesn't make them less of men. It becomes an advantage if such people, whether they stay at home men, dads, and stay at home moms, if they have like an online gig and or online job, so they can combine that. Some people actually look for opportunity to grow their skills to work at home so that there will be someone with the children to do remote work. So such people may have the opportunity to talk at the time they want to do. So to bring it home right now, I started by saying people in diaspora, they are very snobbish, they have attitude, they don't care, they don't want to talk to people, they are just so full of themselves, they are so removed, they are so far, they stay aloof, and they just look down on people, they don't care. You can see from this breakdown, that is not the case. Your family members here, they care about you. They send you money, they work very hard. It's not easy for them. If they don't care about you, you won't even have their contact. If you have the contact of somebody that is living abroad, it's because they want you to have it. So in the first place, for giving out their contact, they care about you. And communication is not an easy thing for a lot of people. There are people that they stay on phone almost round the clock, like, I've explained different categories. But for most people, they have to be intentional to even talk to their own parents, to even talk to their brothers and sisters, not to talk of friends that they have not seen for many years, not to talk of church members, not to talk of neighbors, not to talk of, different acquaintances that they may have. Some people, it's even difficult for them to talk with their own family, right here in America. Don't take it personal. If you have someone who is abroad, of course, there are people who might avoid, communicating with you for different reasons, because there are reasons why people don't pick their calls. I'll be talking about that in another video, because to pick calls, to respond to chats is just to even almost run crazy, because people are making requests left and right. Nigeria is so tough, and there's a lot of pressure on people in diaspora, and people at home sometimes they don't even understand how it is. They don't even know how many people are demanding help from just one person. A lot of people in diaspora here, they are not mean people, they are not wicked people. In fact, for a lot of people working in diaspora, They themselves, they are not even eating much out of the labor that they labor. It is the people at home, because they have different responsibilities and they care for so many people that by the time they distribute their income, they pay their bills here, only a little is left. And they are not mean people. They don't even enjoy what they are working for. They don't enjoy the money like the people who are even making requests from them back home, or people who they have responsibility over as family or friends, or people they do charity for. So please, guys, don't take it personal. Just know that there are different reasons why people in diaspora may not have that time and chance to speak with you as often as you might want them to. And there could be some underlying reasons too. But usually, time zone is a big deal. Nature of work is a big deal. The mood of these people sometimes may be a big deal. It's not all the time someone feels like talking. I hope people are no longer feeling. Anyway, that may not erase the opinion of some people, but the truth is that not all diasporans are mean. Not all diasporans are pompous. Not all diasporans are proud. Thank you for coming this far with me on this video. I'll be talking on other aspects of communication between people in diaspora and people at home. Thanks for watching. Like this video and subscribe to my channel. And you can also join me on Instagram on the same handle, If You Asked Jimmy Official. In TikTok is If You Asked Jimmy Official. Thank you and bye.